So you may have been hearing rumblings about a Horizon Lego game. This has been going on for about a week now. There's been bits of information about it coming from a couple of different sources. At first, I think most people, including myself, thought that this was definitely just referring to new Lego sets like the Lego Tall Neck that we got a while back. But now I'm thinking that the game could actually be real. So what happened here is about a week ago on May 11th, Kurakasis, who's a pretty reputable and pretty well-known industry leaker, gets most of his information from like trademark filings and things like that, posted that Sony and Lego are preparing something in collaboration related to one of their well-known IPs. Nothing about it being Horizon, nothing about it being a game. Later the same day, Tom Henderson, who I would argue is an even more reputable source, posted that an announcement is on the horizon. And then he replied to his own tweet below that he had seen a Lego Horizon trailer, or he knew of a Lego Horizon trailer that's ready to go, and was saying that it probably will be shown at the rumored PlayStation Showcase, heavily rumored PlayStation Showcase, that will probably happen in the next week or two. So at this point, I'm still thinking we're talking about Lego sets, nothing conclusively saying that it's a game. We had a trailer for the Horizon Lego Tall Neck when it came out. So just because there was a trailer and Tom Henderson knew about that does not necessarily, to me at this point, mean that we're talking about a game. However, then yesterday, Kurakasis posted again that they had found a little bit more information, that it was called Lego Horizon Adventures. That's the name of the project that PlayStation and Lego were working on, and still didn't know that it was a game. But then Tom Henderson posted an article on Insider Gaming later that same day. This is yesterday, May 16th. And everything, the way he writes it in here, implies that it is a game. He seems very confident that it's a game, that the trailer that he knew about is for a Lego Horizon game. He kind of sums up all the bits of information that had come out over the past week between him and Kurakasis. And then he also says in this article that the game, he's being told by his sources that the game is essentially Horizon Forbidden West, but Lego, and that it will have realistic graphics. So again, I really didn't buy that this was a game until Tom Henderson posted this article on Insider Gaming. Usually when he does that, he has pretty accurate information, and he's been very accurate in the past with lots of different game leaks. So this is really interesting. A Horizon Lego game is not something I think any of us saw coming or had on our radars. But the fact that he's posted this article gives me quite a bit of confidence that it's actually a real game. And I would imagine if we have a showcase soon in the next few weeks, as is heavily rumored, then we'll see something about this game there. Now, the fact that they say it's Horizon Forbidden West specifically, but Lego, I wouldn't get too hung up on that. A lot of people who aren't really familiar with the franchise for whatever reason will often refer to the whole Horizon franchise as either Horizon Zero Dawn or Forbidden West for whatever reason. I think people just get a little confused. The realistic graphics part is a little bit strange to me. I would imagine that that has to do something with lighting or maybe background environments. Lighting, like really good lighting graphics in Horizon games, I would say are kind of a hallmark of the franchise. So I could see the lighting in a Lego setting maybe making sense with that bit of information, or maybe like the backgrounds looking more realistic. But the Lego games, part of their whole shtick is that they have destructible Lego environments. That's like part of what's really fun about them. You go around bashing things and destroying them and getting studs. So I don't think that an actual Horizon Lego game would have realistic graphics everywhere. Like the characters and machines would definitely still be Lego, but we're just going to have to see if we actually get an announcement about this, what the realistic graphics part is all about. Now, I actually think a Lego Horizon game would be really cool and a lot of fun. I had fun with a number of the Lego games with my brother when I was younger, and I would still have fun with those now if they were new to me now. We played Lego Star Wars, Lego Harry Potter, I think Lego Indiana Jones, and maybe one other, Pirates of the Caribbean, I think. They're definitely a lot of fun. They're really good games. If you're not familiar with them, they essentially work as a single player game, but then they have drop-in couch co-op. So somebody can sit down with you and they get a split screen and you can both play together in co-op mode. Now, something else on this Lego game, some of you may have seen this image on Twitter from TCMF Games. I actually retweeted it to let people know that this is not actual official art. He does this a lot. He makes these like AI kind of marketing material looking images that look really official. You can see I actually downloaded the full image. He always does put his logo in the top right up there with the opacity down. And then there is some text at the bottom that I think is supposed to be a disclaimer, something like this is some random text, but you really can't even read it. I think They need to be made a little bit more obvious when he's posting these that they're not real. A lot of people actually sent this to me thinking this was leaked official artwork. It's not. That doesn't mean the game's not real. This is just not real artwork. So just wanted to make a note about that. So again, this could be announced at the heavily rumored PlayStation Showcase that will probably occur either next week or the last full week of May. We had a showcase during the last full week of May last year. And there's a few different sources that are pretty reputable saying that we're going to get another one anytime now. One of those sources is Jeff Grubb, and I'll play the clip for you right now just so you can kind of hear this.
The PlayStation Showcase is happening this month still, apparently, but whether it's next week or the week after, I honestly don't know. Could be the end of the month.
So this podcast was like 10 days ago. So obviously this past week went by with no showcase. So we're either looking at next week or the week after, seems very likely. And that would probably be the first time that we'd get some clarity on what this Lego thing is. Now, something else we could see at that showcase is finally a reveal for the Horizon Online multiplayer project. So I want to show you a couple things about that. If you weren't aware, the first official public information we had about this being a real thing, and it is a real project that's still in progress, is this tweet that Guerrilla sent from their Life at Guerrilla account in December 2022, so about a year and a half ago at this point, basically listing a bunch of open positions and their studio. They said they are continuing to create epic solo adventures for Aloy. So Horizon 3 is still single player. That's something I think a lot of people are confused about. The online multiplayer project is not Horizon 3. It's a separate game, kind of like the Call of the Mountain VR game. There will still be a Horizon 3. It will be a single player game, and Aloy will be the main character. Horizon Online project is a separate thing. They're still making solo adventures for Aloy, but a new internal team is developing a separate online project set in Horizon's universe, featuring a new cast of characters, unique stylized look. Friends will be able to explore the majestic wilds of Horizon together. So this was the first thing we got that officially confirmed they are working on a multiplayer game. It is still in progress. I can show you that Simon LaRouche, I'm sorry if I'm getting his name wrong, Simon LaRouche maybe, on his LinkedIn page lists that he has been the online game director for the Horizon Online project for over 6 years at this point, which means the game has been in development for at least 6 years at this point. You can also see currently on Guerrilla's, this is Guerrilla's website, if you go to their job postings page, they have an online project category for the online project game, and there's currently 6 positions posted there. There's been probably close to 24, around 24 positions posted there since that initial tweet in December 2022. I'm kind of keeping track of them and pulling little bits of information about the online project out of them. But even today, there are still 6 open positions, so this is actively a project. They're still hiring for it. It's definitely still happening. Now, there was some concern when the layoffs happened 6 or 7 or 8 weeks ago at PlayStation, with some of those happening at Guerrilla, that the online project may have been shut down. The good thing is we got confirmation from another very reputable source, Jason Schreier, who is an industry journalist, that it has not been shut down. Very direct, simple response to somebody asking him if it was. He just said no. So really no details there, but you can't get any more definitive than that. So we are pretty confident that the online project is still occurring. And again, even some of these job postings were posted after, like a few weeks after the layoffs happened at Guerrilla. So we can be pretty confident the online project is still happening. Now, some of you may have also heard the rumors about an MMO Horizon game that is separate from the online project, if it's real at all. I'm not going to get into it too much here. There used to be a category on Guerrilla's jobs page here for external projects team. Now, I always thought that the external project team positions would have been related to that rumored MMO, which is supposed to be being developed by NCSoft in Korea or something like that. But now that we have this news that seems pretty legitimate about a Lego Horizon game, that external project team could still be working on an MMO, but it seems very likely that at least one of their projects that they're responsible for is this Lego collaboration, whether it's a game or Lego sets or whatever. And one more point on the Lego games again, if anyone's concerned, I don't think it would be taking away a lot of resources from Guerrilla themselves. Most of the Lego games have been developed by TT. So there's like Lego Harry Potter, Star Wars that I mentioned, Lego Dimensions, The Hobbit. They've done the bulk of these Lego games over the years. And I think the only involvement that Guerrilla would really have with a Lego game is their external project teams kind of facilitating and dictating what is done for the Lego game. by a studio like TT or somebody else. Now, some of you probably also remember last summer there was a leak, supposed leak, for the online project for the multiplayer Horizon game, showing a bit of concept art that you can see here, and then also some really early alpha build footage that was supposedly from June 2020. And there's a few screenshots of it here. I think I can get away with showing this and not getting in trouble, but we'll see when I try to upload this video. But I can pop open the concept art image. People are pretty decisive over this. They're either like, I hate how this looks, or I think this looks great, or I'm cool with it. It definitely does have a kind of a Fortnite aesthetic. The thing is, I'm really not putting too much stock into this right now. Remember, this is supposedly a leak from an early dev alpha build from 2020. When games are developed, there's all sorts of stuff concepts artists go through, all different types of aesthetics they try, and things that just don't even end up going anywhere. So I'm really not putting a lot of stock in that this is going to be what the online project looks like. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Now, like I mentioned before, I've been able to pull from all the job postings over the past year and a half on Guerrilla's site some different bits of information about how the online multiplayer project seems like it's going to work. I've been toying with the idea of putting a video together that kind of summarizes all that, but with a potential announcement pretty likely at this showcase in the next couple weeks, I think right now it's better to just kind of sit tight, wait to see if we get an official reveal and some real information, and then I can do a video about that. Or if they don't give us a reveal, then maybe I'll put together what I've got. Now, something else you might have heard about is a potential Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster. That is still very much a rumor right now. It seems like it could be a credible rumor, but we don't have any real hard evidence for it. The talk about the remaster was reignited recently because some people on Reddit noticed a couple weeks ago that Zero Dawn is going to be removed from PlayStation Plus on May 21st, so just in a few days here. And then I think Eurogamer, let's see, picked up the article about it. Yeah, it was Eurogamer saying that it was going to be removed on the 21st of May. Typically, when Sony removes a game from PlayStation Plus that's a first-party title, like they did this with Spider-Man last year before Spider-Man 2 launched, it's typically because a sequel's coming or a DLC's coming or another game in the franchise is coming, and they want to remove that from PlayStation Plus so that people are forced to buy it at full price, essentially, if they're playing it for the first time. So the fact that Zero Dawn's going to be removed from PlayStation Plus soon is the only recent evidence we have that the remaster is actually a real thing. The original reports about it like a year or a year and a half ago were from MP First and corroborated by VGC. I would say VGC is a little bit more established as an outlet. Both of them said that a Zero Dawn remaster is coming, that it will feature updated graphics and quality of life improvements to get it more on par with Forbidden West. I think graphics, pretty self-explanatory, basically bring the Zero Dawn graphics up to the Forbidden West level. And then quality of life improvements would probably be things like no pickup animations and other little settings like that that you could turn on to make your gameplay a little bit more enjoyable. So I know a lot of people feel that a Zero Dawn remaster is not really necessary, which I would agree that it's not necessary, though I'm not really as against it as some other people. I don't think it would really detract too many resources from Guerrilla internally for working on things like the online project or Horizon 3. And I can see why they kind of want to bring Zero Dawn up to the standard of Forbidden West, especially if they're going to release it alongside the Netflix show, which is confirmed. So I think it makes a lot of sense. You know, you have a bunch of new people watching the Netflix show. They're going to want to start playing the games, some of them, and you kind of want them to have the best experience possible when they jump into Zero Dawn. So that's probably what the plan is there if this Zero Dawn remaster is real. And I think that it could make sense for a Zero Dawn remaster to be kind of one of the launch titles for the PS5 Pro, which is very likely to be coming out by the end of this year. The PS5 Pro, like so many other things, is also rumored to be announced at this upcoming showcase. And so I could see it making sense for Sony to want to announce the PS5 Pro and also have at least one game in a major franchise that goes along with it to show off its features. For example, maybe a Zero Dawn remaster would get really good ray tracing, which also brings up the question of if the Zero Dawn remaster were to get ray tracing for a PS5 Pro launch, then Forbidden West currently not having ray tracing wouldn't really make sense, especially on PC. So that's a little bit more evidence for what we saw in the Digital Foundry interview with Guerrilla after the PC port launched a couple months ago. They actually said to Digital Foundry that they don't currently have ray tracing in the games, but they really like the tech, and they said, watch this space. So to me, that implies a little bit that They are planning to implement ray tracing in the Horizon series at some point, I think obviously with Horizon 3 whenever that comes out in a few years, but they may be circling back to Forbidden West on PC or the PlayStation builds to add ray tracing to those, and I think doing that alongside a Zero Dawn Remaster for the PS5 Pro launch could make a lot of sense. So real quick, just on the Netflix show again, I'll show you the most recent information we have on that. This is nothing really new. We've had this for about a year, I think, at this point. But Steve Blackman and Michelle Lovretta, who are confirmed to be the showrunners, did an interview with Netflix, again, about a year ago. They were talking very clearly that it was basically a retelling of Horizon Zero Dawn, and that Aloy will indeed be the main character in the show. So I think we can tell from that basically the Netflix show will be a retelling of the story we already know from the games. Some people might be disappointed by that. I actually am pretty excited by it because I think in a show, even though it might be a lot of the things we already know, being able to see it told, hopefully in more detail, would be really cool, I think. Being able to go into Aloy's relationship with Rost more maybe, or just kind of seeing more what's going on with a lot of the other characters in this story that we all love would be really cool. So if you want to know more about the Netflix show or that NCSoft rumored MMO Horizon game, or more about the online project, I've got a video where I go into more details about that right here. Of course, thank you for watching as always, and I hope to see you over in that video in just a minute.